The mind that is God is what it is, and it cannot be changed. But you, as one with this mind, had a wish that it could be different. And then, within the freedom granted by being of mind, you began to make your wish fulfilled. There is nothing wrong with this exploration of thought in which you chose to engage, except for the error in which you believed that your thought could not live if it was shared. In this error, you developed your first misperception of yourself. For in this error, you created the belief that you could be separate from God, and then you judged yourself for what you thought you did, and you found yourself guilty of disrupting the existence of the truth that is God. Disrupting is an appropriate word here, because God, as best as it can be described, is sharing the existence of love. By choosing that God be something different, you had to decide that different must be that it could not be shared, and to not be shared must be a disruption of that which is shared. This seemed to be the creation of a private mind with private thoughts and its own private abilities. But since you saw this as a disruption that destroyed the essence of what God is, you saw this as a sin and judged yourself as guilty. And what could come of such judgment except fear? Now what I'm going to do is skip over to page 175, starting with sentence 34.
Okay.
Let's look at this more slowly once again, for there is an inconsistency here that you must see and recognize if you are to let fear go. The inconsistency is this. You believe, I have made a private mind with private thoughts, which are mine alone, which must mean that I am guilty of disruption of the sharing of thought that is God. And yet, I believe that this error I have made is seen because I know that thought cannot not be shared, and so I expect and fear punishment for all I believe I have done. And there, within your own thought and belief, is the insane idea that maintains your fear and yet can never be. For if you were guilty of making a mind that disrupted the flow of the mind of God, that mind would be private, and it would not be shared. Therefore, God could not seek to punish you, because he would not be aware.
And that's the key.
That's the key.
That's the key right there, and that is the perfect logic. If God knows everything, and God is everything, how is it possible that we would have private thoughts?
Right.
It's not possible.
It's not possible.
Mm-mm.
And that actually links right back to Philemon. It's interesting that you would have picked that because...
Well, I'm not picking anything. I'm just following guidance.
That's what verses 4 through 7 on page 395 are about. Again, see, you feel guilty because you believe you have abused your truth.
Right.
You believe you have used your truth to separate yourself and to create pain in the heart of God.
Which is impossible.
Which is impossible.
Right. So the logic is flawless, really. But the ego is not logical and is flawed, but we choose to believe it. So when you hear the prompt internally that you are everything and you are truth and you are the Son of God, that we are all one, don't listen to the ego when it says, no, you're not. You can't be. Don't listen to it. Listen to the prompts. And I'm so thankful for NTI because it has validated and confirmed the prompts that I have been receiving for years. And, of course, the ego is always there to say, no, that can't be true. That can't be true. Blah, 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 blah. But it is true.
Yeah, and that's what I've witnessed as I've been watching Larry. At the end of a reading, he'll just go, wow, or he'll go, I knew that. And so what it seems like is that, you know, one of the reasons this entire thing has been set up, I'm sure there are many, but one of the reasons is just so Larry could get more faith, more trust in his own inner voice.
And I know that's true.
Yeah.
And I feel so blessed that I'm actually a part of this, that this is great. This is It's perfect for both of us, actually.
Yeah.
It's perfect for everyone.
Yeah.
So it's great. How many people get the scribe of NTI to read the whole book to them?
That's the first time I've sat and read the whole book. So Larry is very special.
Well, no more special than anyone else.
Well, no, when we get the audio, everyone will have it.
Yeah.
And in fact, I was talking to people who work with the text. I was talking to Doug Moncton, and something in the conversation, at least the way I interpret it, was that he felt that there may be some loss if we remove commas and stuff from the text, because then people won't hear where Jesus paused when he was talking to Helen. And I remember what I said to him was, I said, well, my publisher asked me to remove commas, and I did, because I understood the commas kind of interrupted the reading. And I said, but where those pauses, where that inflection will still be shown is when we do the audio. I will be able to read, and then all of that will be captured. So that's a part of what we're doing, is we're at least making it closer to what I actually heard, which you can't get from the reading medium alone. Yeah.
And I just will share that as Regina's been reading, I have been listening to Spirit, and I only correct whenever Spirit, or I feel prompted to correct. So I let Regina read exactly as she hears it. Unless there's a missed word or something like that. And of course, we correct that.
Or sometimes my pronunciation is a little too country.
Well, that's not possible there, girl. I don't think you can be too country. Well, let's look in the room and see if there's any questions or anything. Lucid Dreamer writes, I understand the term private thoughts to refer to my notion that my thoughts affect no one but me.
Right.
The truth is that my thoughts are never private, but always affect everyone.
Yes. Is that Bill Free? Sounds like something Bill Free would say. No, it must not be if it's Lucid Dreamer.
Is what it says.
Yeah, well, that shows they are one.
My separation thoughts call to the separation thoughts of others, and my real thoughts call to the real thoughts of others.
Yes, that's so important. My separation thoughts call to the separation thoughts of others. So if I'm walking around thinking about attack, for example, thinking about how I hate so-and-so and I want to attack them verbally, or how much somebody else might hate me and they're going to attack me, and then somebody shows up and starts criticizing me, that's because my separation thoughts have called to the separation thoughts of others, and that's still love.
And that's right. And they have answered your call.
They have answered
love,
my call.
Which you didn't understand. The call for love you sent out was, I want to feel separate.
That's right.
So somebody come here and make me feel separate.
And then they give it to me. It's a perfect gift.
It's exactly right. But we are so asleep, and there's that word, we are so asleep, we do not remember what we are asking for. We actually believe that the effect is cause, and that's not true. We are the cause in all situations. We are the cause, and we see effects of our thoughts and of our desires. And once we all remember this and awaken to the truth from the sleep of the false, then we will remember who we are. That's awesome. We've got a couple more minutes. It's about time to close, but I'm going to look in the room, and if anybody's got any questions, please write them down. We can't really hear the room very well because I'm the only one that can hear in the room with the headphones, so I'm going to look and see. Are there any questions? I'm reading here.
It's a nice little pitter-patter of rain outside today.
Yeah, it's supposed to snow, which is really unusual for Texas. I see no questions, so what I'm going to do is use this time to close, because we're real close to being out of time. I want to thank Regina for joining me this morning for Awakenings, and thank all of you for joining us for Awakenings. And we are very excited about having the audio version of the Holy Spirit's interpretation of the New Testament available. It will be a few months before it's actually released, because there's a bunch of work that needs to be done after Regina is finished speaking it. But it will be available on audiblespirit.com when it's released, and I'm sure there'll be emails and announcements everywhere.
We'll make everyone aware.
Yeah, so thank you very much. This has been Awakenings for Tuesday, February 23rd, 2010. Bye for now.
Bye.